In this video, I want to cover why talking about your problems and the things you're struggling with and your negative emotions, whether you're talking with your friends, your therapists, your acquaintances, your family, it is a bad idea, like 95% of the times, and it probably should be avoided at all costs. And I think most people don't realize that they make this mistake because maybe to begin with, they don't truly understand the consequences of it. And I only know very few people who don't do this mistake. So watch this video till the end because this one is actually very important. So let's break it down. When you talk about your problems, there's two ways to go about it, which is very similar to criticism, right? With criticism, you have constructive criticism and you have destructive criticism. And with problems, it's kind of like the same thing when you talk about them. You can talk about them in a constructive way, or you can talk about them in a destructive way. The destructive way to talk about problems, I think what I can do is just give you examples, right? In different areas in life. So say, for example, like this YouTube channel, if I were to be destructively talking about this problem, right? So say that I'm complaining about, oh, my YouTube channel, I'm having problems with growth, right? Which, by the way, if you're watching this video, subscribe. And I'm like, man, my channel is not growing fast enough. I only have like 260 subscribers. The algorithm sucks. I don't know if it's worth it anymore. People's attention spans are screwed by TikTok. My account has been shadow banned or something weird like that. Whatever, you know, like any of these excuses that you could come up with, which the problem with all of those is that they could technically be true, right? That's the pattern that you can find in destructive criticism. And you can think about it in different areas in life, right? So if you're thinking about someone who complains about the gym, it could be something similar, you know, like, man, I don't have energy, I don't have the time, is it actually worth it? I've read that it's actually not that good and it would be better to do something different. Or if you think about relationships, right? A lot of people are complaining about this. It's like, oh, the modern dating scene, it's not good. Modern dating is horrible. People just want hookups. It's impossible to find a good boyfriend, girlfriend. Nowadays, women are only gold diggers. Guys are only F-boys, right? Everyone is complaining about the exact same things. That's what destructive criticism looks like. And if you think about it, what is the pattern with all of this? The pattern is that, first of all, it's like a victim's mindset. It's like you're already defeated. The things that you are stating is as if you don't have any power over them. Like they're there and you can do nothing about it. They're not observations that lead you to taking action. Now, also, if you think about it, all of these secretly are reasons to quit, or we could just call it like their cope, which I think is a very subtle thing that happens when you talk about your problems in this way, because what you're trying to do is to convince yourself and others around you that this is actually not worth it, that it is not a good idea, so that your social group starts to see it that way. And when you quit, you're not gonna be judged because they're gonna be like, oh no, yeah, of course he quit. The YouTube algorithm sucks. The gym is actually not a good place to be in. Yeah, of course you cannot date. Of course you have to be single, right? It's in a way to save other people's judgment and also your own judgment. Like you're convincing yourself at the same time too. And then the third reason is that obviously it pushes you away from working. And what I mean by this is that if you complain about all these and you end up not quitting, as I was saying here, you're just wasting time. Like, what is the point of talking about this when you could actually be working? If you're starting a YouTube channel, you could be recording videos, you could be hitting the gym, you could be going out meeting people, you could be working on your business. Now, on the other hand, to give you the example, you know what constructive criticism would sound like? So going back to the YouTube example, right? If I were to analyze and see my YouTube, like, okay, my YouTube is not growing. Obviously, that is a fact, right? It's not growing as much as I would like to. The way you would go about this, instead of just complaining about the things that I was mentioning before, would be to analyze it and be like, okay, this video that I published has a 1.5% CTR, click-through rate, which is not good, obviously. What can I do about it? What could I have done better? The title is not good. How could I make better titles? How can I make better thumbnails? Or even like the intros, right? I have low retention. Like when you have the graph of the YouTube video and people start watching, it drops a lot very quickly, and then only you have like 20% of the people who end up watching the video, or 10%. How do I make my videos better so that people stay for longer and not so many people drop off? Then other things, right? So in the gym, oh, I don't have energy. Well, how can I have energy to go to the gym? How do I increase my energy? What are the best exercises that I could do? How can I make time to go to the gym? Relationships, what places I could go to actually meet good women, because I know there are good women out there, or good men. what places I could go, how could I present myself better, how could I be more entertaining when I'm having conversations with strangers, right? You go with your buddies out there and you go all night, talk to girls, meet different women, right? You all fail and then you get together and you do a debrief and it's like, okay, what went wrong? Let's analyze it. This, right? You're talking about the problem. Obviously there was a problem there, something went wrong, but where is it about it, right? And if you think about it, what is the big difference between these two groups? The constructive problem talking is questions. You're asking things. You're wondering like, this thing is not working. How could I make it work? The destructive way to talk about problems, they're statements. It's just like, yeah, this sucks. This doesn't work. This is not the way. These are things basically that in a way is just signaling you to quit. And one thing that I've realized is that talking about your problems, in a way, it causes a very similar effect to when you talk about your goals. I'm sure you've heard this thing that people say you shouldn't talk about your goals because when you do, you actually feel the satisfaction of that future goal in the moment. And now you don't have that incentive or that pressure to actually go do it because you're already satisfied. And I think talking about your problems, it does kind of the same thing. Because you talk about this issue that you're having with your life, then you get like social approval or comfort. And temporarily you feel like, oh, okay, it's okay, I'm understood. And this person gets me, my therapist gets me, my group of friends get me. And now you're relieved from this emotionally, so you relax and you don't go as hard to fix that thing that was actually causing a problem in your life. So you're stuck within the problem even though emotionally right now you're not suffering from it. And also there's even a bigger thing to all of these, which is that the more you talk about something, the more real it becomes, which is another reason as to why you should stop making these statements, because you're just creating your own reality. If you're constantly, and this is very common, I'm sure you've heard it on social media already, which is if you're constantly talking about how you feel and how depressed you are, how anxious you are, how useless you are, how things are not working out for you, how sad, how whatever bad thing it is that you're thinking about, obviously what that's going to do is to magnify it. Guys, like the words you use are very, very powerful. I want to do a video about this sometime. But for example, when I'm working out with people and people say something like, oh, I have no energy, right? I'm tired. I don't know if I can lift this. I always tell them like, don't say that. Like if you say that, you're just going to reinforce that reality. You're going to make it even more real. What you should be thinking is like, lightweight. There's a reason why those bodybuilders say those things, right? Ronnie Coleman, I think was his name. Well, because you're tricking yourself into having more energy and being like, yeah, I can actually lift this. The words you use are very, very powerful. And it works both ways. It works both for the good things and for the bad things. And honestly, this even applies, I didn't mention it before, but this even applies with like life and existential theories in general, you know? With reality, some people are very nihilistic and they're like, what's the point of life? Life has no meaning. I don't want to be here trapped in samsara, right? But it's like, that's a destructive way to analyze the problem. The constructive way would be like, okay, how can I make this place awesome? How can I make my life awesome? How can I turn this place from hell into the Garden of Eden? That is the frame that you have to take when you analyze these things, because problems are undeniable, but the way you frame them, that's what you can control. So anyways, guys, that's it. As a quick recap, just like stop using these statements, ask productive questions. That's the way to go. And that's it. Okay, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. I would appreciate that. Watch this video right here. I'm sure you're gonna like it as well. And that's it. And hopefully I will see you on the next video. Take care. Peace.